Welcome back to our channel, guys. It's the host with the most, Vince.
And it's your girl, Arlene.
And we're the Real Tea Adventurers. We want to start off by saying Happy New Year's to you guys.
We are officially in 2025, which means another year of cruising.
Another year of cruising. And I know there's going to be a lot of first-time cruisers this year.
A lot of people.
We know there's going to be a lot of people returning back to cruising.
Yes.
So I think it's only right that we started this segment off for those who are starting for the first time.
For the first time ever. So what we got for them today?
So today we're going to be covering essential tips, first time cruisers on Carnival Cruise.
Let's go.
All right. So I'm going to break it down to different segments. So this one is called Before You Cruise, right? First tip is download the Carnival Hub app.
Let me tell you, that right there is going to be your compass on the cruise.
Yes.
And that's going to help you so much where you're not going to feel lost. Like, you're going to be able to know everything that's going on.
Yep.
All the menu, the entertainment, the food, where to go on the cruise ship. Like, that is a must.
I wish we knew these
On our first one,
on our
right?
first cruise. Yep.
We were so lost.
But we're looking out for you guys. That's our job. So download the Carnival Hub app. It's the only way to navigate around the cruise ship. Tip number 2, you want to complete online check-in early.
Yes, and that right there makes the process for when you arrive at the port, it just makes it like smooth. Like,
Yes.
everything is already, all you got to do is show your documents.
Yes.
And then from there, because it helps the process where you don't have to check in there, then it's going to waste a lot of time.
Yes.
And you just want to just go in and just make it as smooth as possible for yourself.
And I promise you, right after COVID, everything is just so seamless.
Yes.
It's been so smooth.
Yes.
But it all depends on you.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you're checking early so that way you're not having a headache at the cruise port.
Right.
Tip number 3. This is probably my favorite one. Arrive at the port a day early.
So arrive to not the port, but the actual
No,
city.
a day early.
A day early. Okay.
Day early.
No.
A day early. Why is that? Man, you guys don't know. There are so many cases on the news, Facebook groups that we see.
Oh.
A lot of people missing out on their cruise because they decided to take the flight
The day of. Okay.
day
so
of.
I get it. So arrive to wherever the city is a day before.
Right.
Which is true because sometimes
Things happen.
Yeah, the weather. It's like a lot of stuff. Delay or mechanical issues with
Yes,
the airplane,
yes.
and then your flight end up getting canceled. And here you are supposed to come in the day of, and then you miss your whole entire cruise because you decided to come in the day of. I get it. You try to save money.
Right.
You try to avoid staying at a hotel, so you're thinking that you're smart enough to just come the day of.
Right.
But a lot of stuff happens.
Yes. And I do want to say too, by you coming in a day early, it gives you time to explore the city.
That's true too.
Write something outside of your environment, your settings, and I feel like, look, it's just a less headache. You feel me?
Yeah.
You're like, literally, we never had that issue, but it's something that we always say, you're taking a bigger risk flying in the same day of.
Yes, that is so true.
Because like I said, a lot of things could happen, and the last thing we want is you paying your hard-earned money. You took time off, PTO. Right? PTO. Just for you to lose out on that big day. Let's go to tip number 4. Understanding gratuities.
That's a big one.
That's something that's constantly changing, and it varies between the cruise line. I would say probably do research on it depending on which cruise line that you're wanting to choose.
Right.
And then some people, they don't understand too that gratuity. Well, let's just
Like
break it down.
how it works.
How it works. Pretty much, the cruise line is pretty much charging your account
Every day. Per person.
And it all depends on what you're purchasing, what restaurants you go to, if you ordered any drinks. It's so many factors, but you have to understand that these are onboard charges going to your account that at the end of the cruise, you will be billed on everything that will be taken out your personal banking or
credit card. Right.
So that's something you have to look into. Like I said, once again, it varies per person, per cruise too.
And we're just letting you guys know, so don't be surprised when you get a bill towards the end of your cruise.
Right, especially for first time cruises.
Yes.
All right, this segment is packing essentials. Like I said, we wish we knew this when we first started cruising.
I think I packed for a month on my first cruise.
We did.
So much clothes, so much stuff that we packed that we didn't even use. So the key to this is just pack lightly for your trip, right?
Less is better than more.
That's true.
I just keep it simple. Less is better than more. All right. Tip number 5. Pack a carry-on for embarkation day. If you don't want to wait, when you get to the port, you have the porter, they'll take your luggages, and then from there, depending on, even after you sail too, I've even noticed you probably get your luggages or your carry-on all the way at night. But if you want it like right then and there, you could bring it, but it also depends on what you've added in your luggage too.
That is true too. And they always tell you, like, if you have any medication that you need to take
that with
any
you.
Important things, you always want to put it on your carry-on. And another thing, do not pack your documentation in the luggage that you're going to give to the people at the port. All of those things should be on a carry-on, whether it's a book bag or a little duffel bag, like whatever it is. But make sure like your important stuff, because sometimes people do not get their luggages till like all the way at night. God forbid your luggage get lost.
That does happen.
And that happens, and you have your important stuff in there, like I said, medication or anything that's very important to you that you cannot live without. Do not pack it in your suitcase. Put it in your luggage, your carry-on luggage, a book bag, or whatever it is. But that's the most important part, guys.
Yes. All right, let's go into tip number 6. And I remember I had this experience on our very first cruise on a honeymoon.
Yes.
Bring motion sickness remedy. A lot of people don't know, when you're on the cruise ship, you're in the middle of the sea.
Yeah, so it's up and down. It gets rocky.
Right.
And some people just can't stomach that. So some people get motion sickness. So that's very important.
So what you can do is go to any of your grocery or retailers and you want to purchase, I'm going to say this, Dramamine.
Yes.
Which is a motion sickness remedy. C-bands, they do have those on board too.
Right, and then I think they have like the little patches that you could put behind your ears that helps.
Or what you can do is purchase ginger candy, which is good too. Yeah,
I didn't know about the ginger candy part, but okay. I learned something new right with you guys.
Ginger candy, which is good for nausea, gas, bloating.
Yeah.
So, but it settles the stomach. Tip number 7, follow the dress code.
Yes, for sure. So there are nights that there's like elegant night, like for people who don't know. So they have like different, things. Like there's elegant night where you dress up, and I think they also call it like captain night or something like that.
Captain night's like the first night.
So it's like when you dress up nicely, you go to dinner. There's like different dress codes for different things. There's like the club, the outdoors, like all that other stuff. There is a dress code that comes with it.
And we want to say too, the dining rooms, they're strictly enforced about that too. Like they're forcing, like, look, you have to just dress accordingly. Like you can't come in with flip-flops, swim shorts, bikini,
a tank top. Like no, that's not. Come on, we could do better.
Because mind you, you're in a setting where a lot of people, this is their time to.
Right, this is dinner. People take it serious. I've seen people, even when it's not elegant night, they dress up every single night for dinner. They take it serious,
Right. Tip number 8. I put pack reusable water bottles, but I really meant to say like hydro flasks, canteens, things like that.
Yeah, stainless steel.
Right, because the thing is, you can't bring your own personal water bottles on the cruise.
Right.
I think it's just better to just purchase one. You can even go to Five Below, get one for $5.
That's true too.
And it can order a pack of water for your stateroom, and then from there, time to time, keep
refilling. Yeah, because that's what we normally do anyway.
Yeah. So now we're in that segment of onboard tips.
This is when you finally make it to the ship.
Right. This is my favorite part because depending on your selling, you feel me? Let's just say it's a 3-day selling. There's so much jam-packed, right?
Right.
I usually say, look, when you get on the cruise, go to your stateroom, drop everything off, and then from there, here's the tip. Tip number 9. Explore the ship on day 1.
Please get yourself familiarized with the ship, the layout, where everything is located. Just walk around.
Remember, we had that conversation this morning. Like, we wish we would have done that on our first. It all goes back to our first cruise.
Our first cruise. There's so much mistakes that we made on our first cruise. Now looking back, we're like, dang, if only we knew. And I was saying, like, it wasn't much like how we have these nowadays, all these Facebook groups that's giving us all these information, what to expect and things like this. So I mean, get yourself familiarized with the cruise. Know where the buffet is at, your dining, the pool,
complimentary restaurants.
Right.
You just kept saying how the biggest mistake that we did, we only knew about the dining room and the buffet. Yeah. But we didn't know, like, there's a lot of complimentary things that
came with our fares. Right. So we was just literally in 2 places the whole entire time.
Right.
So get to know your cruise ship while you're there. Just walk around, ask questions. Right. You know, find out what's complimentary and what's not complimentary. Yes. I mean, there's probably a restaurant that you didn't even know that was on the ship and you wanted to try it. Yeah. Yep. So this is what we mean when we say walk around. There's like pools, gyms, quiet areas. Like, just know your ship.
Man, I can't emphasize that. Like, that's probably like the biggest of it all, because mind you pay all of this money, right? And you're missing out on so much things that come with your cruise fare.
That is so true. So true.
All right, next point. Tip number 10. Reserve popular activities early. It's a common thing, from specialty dining to shows to the spas to you can go on and on too. And the thing is, because some of these things, they can be sold out very quick. Yeah. Some of these places, shows or entertainment can fill up quick too.
Very quickly, yes.
Yeah, which causes you to miss out on maybe probably like the best show on the cruise ship. So it's just very important too, because even now, to the point where these cruise lines, before your actual selling, they're opening the
reservations. Isn't it like 2 weeks before?
Sometimes 2 to 3 weeks before the selling.
So that's why we say get on those apps, guys, and find out, because a lot of times you do have to make reservations and then they go out fairly quickly.
And also too, you don't have to wait. Like, there's a difference between like making a reservation, you're in the line for a reservation, and the long line of, you know, people in the waiting list because they're not too sure space and
so avoid all of that. Just by one click you could avoid all of that.
Yes. All right, tip number 11. Know what's free and what's not.
That's very important.
I'm just gonna keep it simple. Your fare that you pay a lot of money with, there are things that are complimentary and there are things that are not. So that can be from dining options to the drinks to, let's see, what else?
Sometimes they have like I think like complimentary like massages or something in there. So sometimes they give you complimentary things, and sometimes you do have to pay for it. There are other stuff that's like, I can't think right now on the top of my head, that are complimentary. Yeah. So you just gotta find out like what's free and what's not.
Like amenities that are free, the adult quiet area, the Serenity, the gym, the fitness center.
That's true.
9 times out of 10, those are free. But there are so many things, you just have to do your research. And I feel like this is something, now that we're talking about it too, something that we can touch on a later video. and just do the comparisons, like the do's and the don'ts, and what's offered and then what's
not offered.
Yeah,
right.
Something you have to pay additional fee for. Okay, so now we're jumping into the dining and drinks. This is probably like my favorite part.
Yes.
Tip number 12: try the complimentary options, and this is on Carnival Cruise. We would say our favorite go-to spot, if you've never been on Carnival Cruise, is
Guy's Burgers
Joint. Yes, probably hands down the best burgers you'll ever eat.
Yes, that is like the number one spot. Anytime we know we're going on Carnival, as soon as we get on that ship, the first spot we hit gotta be Guy's Burger Joint.
And I'm telling you, the lines be wrapped up like around.
Listen, from the burgers to the fries.
Yes.
They have some amazing fries. To me, that's my favorite.
The seasoned fries, and then the toppings, and then the special types of burgers
that you're able to make. Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I want some right now.
You gotta try it for yourself, guys. If you book a Carnival Cruise, make sure you have Guy's Burger on your list as one of the complimentary restaurants for you to try.
Yes, and then also they do have many, depending on the cruise ship too, because there are newer ones that offer a lot more, like Shaq's Big Chicken.
Yeah, that too.
Chabang, Cochina.
Yes.
Cochina is kind of tricky. On the older cruise ships, you have to pay for it. On the newer ones,
it's complimentary.
But if you want, is that Chabang?
No, that's Chabang.
Okay.
See, on Cochina, that one is unlimited. You don't have to pay. That was for Chabang, where if you want to go a second time, then you have to pay the $8 per person.
Okay, so I'm gonna piggyback on you. The $8 per person, that's for cruise ships like Carnival Celebration, Carnival Mardi Gras, and then Carnival Jubilee. Yes. Man, we do a good job. Like, we're a good team.
We know it.
All right. Also, we're everywhere. Okay, Blue Cantina Iguana is another place. The main dining room is free too for breakfast and dinner. And then there's other specialty restaurants that you do have to pay for.
Right.
Okay. This is very optional. You don't have to do it, but for those who likes to drink, Carnival does offer the drink packages. And as of lately, the prices did go up. And I'm gonna just say this on top of my head. I think as of right now, it's $82.54
per person. Per day.
Now that adds up. That's all I'm gonna say. We did a video earlier where we broke down and
the costs and everything, and we found it to be like that's a whole nother trip.
Yes.
A whole nother trip that you can book with that drink package. Now, I say this to each his own, because we always say in majority of our videos, we are not drinkers, so we've never done the drink package. And don't get us wrong, the drink package is not only alcoholic beverages. Right. You also have your soda, your specialty, your coffee, and things like that. But for us, we feel like it was never really... It's not beneficial for us. Now, if you feel like you're with a group, or you know you're gonna be drinking, and you know you want your cocktails and your beers and your this and your that, and you feel like it's worth it for you, then go ahead and do the drink package. It's just, for us, it was never a thing for us because we are just occasional drinkers.
Right. And then on top of that too, it also varies, I would say, on the person.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like I said, you're not forced to buy the drink packages. This is just something that's
it's optional.
It's optional too. And then the drink packages, they're alcoholic and then non-alcoholic. Okay, tip number 14: don't miss sea day. It's probably like the perfect day for you to settle from you going to the different ports, because technically you're on a scheduled time.
Right.
And then that's like the only day where you're in the middle of the ocean, and there's just so much things going on from like the morning all the way into night too. If you wanna, have a great time by the pool, that's like your perfect day.
Yep.
It could be overwhelming too. I'm not gonna lie, because That's the day. Yeah, everyone's is on the cruise ship.
Yep. But there's also the sea day brunch.
Oh yes.
The sea day brunch. I remember, and again, I don't know until how many cruises later we found out that there was a sea day brunch, because we didn't know about no sea day brunch.
And we thought they charge.
Right. We didn't even know. See, that's another thing that's complimentary, guys. It's free.
Yes.
Sea day brunch is free, and it's only open on sea day.
Yes.
So what it is, you will go to your main dining room.
Yeah.
And I think it's from like 7 to noon.
Yeah.
So you can walk there. You have like, it's a brunch.
Yeah.
And you can sit there, and it's like a variety of like menus and different things that you can order. And I must say, I feel like all our sea day brunches that we've did have been a great experience.
That too. And then I want to say, just by how the food is just more appealing than going to the buffet.
And just having everything stacked up. It's just nice to sit down and be served, and you feel like you're actually at a brunch.
Yeah, actual brunch. And the food is, oh my God.
It's good.
I gotta do the chef. It's delicious.
It's really good.
Okay, so we covered the dining and drinks. Now, port days. Mm-hmm. Port days, it all depends on your itinerary. But most importantly, we want to say is, look, stick to the ship time.
Yes, please, guys, because we've done seen too many videos, and I think even on one of the cruise ships that we were on, like a couple of people almost got left.
Right, and they pulled up like maybe 2 to 3 minutes before the cruise ship was gonna leave.
And let me tell you guys something.
Mexico, I remember.
You remember, right? Yes. And let me tell you guys something. Once that gangway is up, they are not going to put it down for you. Right. I'm just letting you guys know that. It is very imperative that you guys stick to the ship time. If it says be back by 3:30, at least by 2:45, 2:30, you making your way back to the ship. Yes. Do not take that risk.
It's a high risk. And then 2, you're going to come out of pocket because you have to meet at the next itinerary or port, or sometime even back home, because everything all your personal belongings is on a cruise ship.
It's on a cruise ship,
So it's like you already paid your money, and then now you have to pay extra more. Yeah, just stick with the ship time, please. Next, research excursions. We've done that plenty of time, and then our last encounter, I wish we would have done more research, which was the Damahagua waterfall. We have a video on that too.
Yes.
And that was kind of on my fault, on my behalf, because I didn't do no research. It was just one of those things where I just wanted to book it.
Yeah.
But for us, can I just probably have a therapy moment with them?
Go ahead.
We don't know how to swim, guys. We don't know how to swim. And this excursion, this excursion, one, it was strenuous. We didn't know about that too.
It was so much walking.
Yes.
You had to climb was it 300 something stairs?
Yep.
Steps?
Feet.
And then when we got there, we had to wait an extra 30-45 minutes. It wasn't only us. Like, everybody in our group was complaining about this excursion, to the point where they wanted to go to guest service and get their money back. So we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. So guys, we can't stress this enough. Just because an excursion looked fun, but please make sure you know the details of this excursion. How long it's gonna last?
Right.
What does it take? Like, is it like a physical activity that you have to do? Because we didn't know about all of this. Make sure you have the proper gear, the proper shoes. I know our feet was killing us. We had the wrong water shoes on. The wrong water shoes on, and that was one of our excursions where we learned our lesson.
And then remember, we had a lady in our group. She almost passed out because it was so much walking. Her health wasn't all the way there, so it was strenuous for her. So this is why we say make sure you go into details when you're booking excursions. And I want to say too, just to add on, be careful booking third party. Yes, I was about to say that too, because you have Carnival does offer short excursions with the cruise line.
Through the cruise line.
And then what you're saying is the third party, those are independent. When you get off the port, you have the locals.
All these people with signs and be like, hey, do you want to take a taxi and tour the city? And just be careful with those, only because, number one, it can be tricky.
Yes.
For the ship time.
Yes, I was about to say that. Yeah. It does reflect back on the ship time. Number two,
if something happened, you're on your own, because that wasn't through the cruise line.
Yep.
Number three, sometimes it's dangerous. I've seen on news where accidents happen and people actually die. And again, you're on your own pretty much, and with your family, because you didn't book through the cruise line. Right. So basically, Carnival is telling you, we're not responsible. What happens to you because you book with the third party, meaning that the people who are on the port, at that port, it wasn't through the cruise line.
Yep, they have no affiliation with these third parties or independent. So
just be mindful. We're not saying not to do it, but just be very mindful.
And imagine if you didn't get the travel protection. That can even help you too.
That too. And sometimes these people get scammed.
Yeah. Oh, that happens a lot.
All the time. They get scammed. So that's why we're telling you guys, just be careful and be mindful.
Right. Tip number 17. Oh, we have a lot. We're almost there, but I hope this is very informative. If you're finding this video to be very helpful, we want to say please give us a quick like right now.
And subscribe to our channel if you're new.
All right, tip number 17, carry essentials for port days. It all depends on what you're doing, where you're going, but we want to say, like, one, to get back on a cruise ship, you do need your SeaPass card.
Yes.
That's very important. Sunscreen, depending on the weather. And then your government ID, because you're visiting
another country,
islands, right? So,
and for sure, sometimes they do ask that you bring your passport. We always do it regardless, because we never know what they're going to ask us. So your C-Day pass card, a government ID, which we normally bring our passports with us, and another thing is bring cash. When you're getting off these ports, just bring cash. Yes, sometimes they do have ATMs and things like that, but I think you're always more safe with cash.
Also, comfortable shoes, because you're gonna explore the island. And then two, if you have kids, just be mindful to bring essential items for them.
Yeah, you could bring them strollers and like things like that.
Right. Yeah. All right. Money saving tips is this portion, which is my favorite. We like to save money.
Yes.
Whole lots of money. So we're gonna start off by bring your own wine and soda. Man, let me tell you, these cruise lines are getting expensive.
They are. Like the wines. Is it Carnival? I think Carnival too. So when you bring your wine, make sure you bring a wine opener, because I think Carnival charges. If you were to bring your wine to dinner, I think they charge like $15 just to open your wine. But if you have your own wine carrier, like your own wine opener, then you're good.
Right. A lot of people don't know that you could bring cases of sodas, beverages, but it has to be like not bottles, but like
the actual cans. So like a pack of 12 of soda, but it could be one pack per person. So if it's only 2 in a cabin, so you bring 2.
And also you could bring bottles of wine to up to 2, 1 per person.
And the limit is, I think, what, 14%?
14 to 15%. Don't quote us on that. I would say check on Carnival cruise line beverage policies to get like the actual percentage of what you could bring, and also to like depending on the beverage, like what's prohibited and what's not. Tip number 19, take advantage of free activities. Man, look, like I said, this is gonna go back to your cruise rate. There's a lot of things that are offered. I was just saying this the other day too. A lot of people don't know the water slides. Those are free.
Those are free.
The mini golfs, What else?
There's like comedy shows,
poolside movie, outdoor movie, trivia games, comedy shows,
the clubs.
The club is free. Like you don't have to pay anything. So this is what we mean by like doing some research on like things that are offered and come with your cruise fare.
Right.
Tip number 20: watch for sales. It's very optional, but I would say wait till like towards the end of the cruise.
That's when they start dropping everything off to like 75% off and different things like that.
Yeah. The last two will be like departure tips, which mean you had a great selling. We're gonna say is you had a great selling. All the tips that we provided for you guys went smooth. It was very helpful, very informative, and then now it's back home to reality.
Time to say goodbye.
You gotta clock into your 9 to 5, right? So now we want to say departure tips. Tip number 21: use self-assist for early disembarkation. The first cruise.
Listen,
man, I wish we would have known, because the thing is, if I would have knew you could bring your own luggage or carry off the ship, we would have got off way early. When we did the cruise line, we waited 3 hours
just to get our luggage, guys, off that ship, and we could have been home by then.
It's something I always dreadful and think about to this day, like, why did we do it?
But we learned real quick. So if you don't know what we're talking about, so the night before, they give you the option to put your luggage outside of the door, and the people, like the crew members, will come and pick up your luggage, and so that way when you're getting off the ship, you don't have luggages and things like that on you.
Right.
That sounds all cool and stuff, but when you gotta go claim your luggage and you gotta go through all those luggages and things like that, that's not the fun part.
There's a part you're missing. For every luggage, there's a specific number, and they have to call those like
you got to get off that ship by that number.
By that number.
But if you carrying all your stuff and you doing it by yourself, you get off early and then you just go about your business. And we did that only one time, which was our very first cruise, which we said we've done a lot of mistakes. So this is why we're bringing these information to you guys, so you guys don't make the mistakes that we made.
I don't want to rub it in, because we live in Miami, but I'm gonna tell you how realistic this is, right? So for instance, let's just say disembarkation starts at 7:30. We're off the ship by like 7:45. I promise you, by like 8:15, we're home. We're home, like 30 minutes off the cruise ship. So that's why it's very important. Just take your own luggage.
Yeah.
And another bonus tip I'm gonna say too: there's always an issue with the elevators towards the end, because everyone's trying to get up at the same time. What I would say is too, if you're gonna book your cruise and your deck, right? Depending on deck, stay around. It's usually the promenade, I'm gonna say.
So like deck 5 or so.
Right. Stay around deck 4, 5, 6, and 8, and 8 to make it more easier.
That way, if the elevators are full, you good with going down the stairs.
You know me, I like to be efficient, and I don't want to wait. I like to get off.
You like to get off.
Last but not least, double check your bill.
Yes, guys, because we've seen it one too many times where people can't even get off the ship because they have a balance or something left. A remaining balance. So what we do is the day before, we go to guest services and we make sure that everything is clear and we're good to go, because we don't want no surprises when we trying to go home.
Right. Or we would say the day before you get off, head to guest services early to avoid the lines.
Yes, that too.
Because that's the day everyone's trying to settle with their account on charges they didn't know that existed.
Right.
So it's like, to save that hassle and the headache, just do it the day before, and that way on the last day you're good.
You're good. And I also want to add, so when we talk about your balance, you can check that on your TV in your room.
Or the Carnival Hub App.
That too. So there's two ways that you can check everything that you're spending to make sure that it's correct. And so you can either get on your TV or the Carnival Hub app.
Yes. Shout out to the amazing Carnival guest services. They do a wonderful, great job. And I want to say, Carnival Cruise, man, you guys are doing it big. That's our favorite cruise line that we love cruising on. So this year we're just gonna be rolling out with a lot of helpful tips, because Carnival it's the cruise line that's affordable
and considered the fun ship.
Right, and we want to help you guys navigate through this process, without having a headache. So I hope you found this video to be very informative. Like I said, please give this video a lot of likes and subscribe to our channels.
Right, and comment below too.
Yeah, and also too, this helps. You guys tuning in and commenting, it really helps with the algorithm to push out to other first-time cruisers too. Navigating through this process.
Yes, very much so.
All right, so where can they find us on social media?
So you guys can find us on Instagram. We have our Facebook group, and also here on YouTube and our TikTok.
Yes. And we're going to sign out. This is the host with the most fits.
And it's your girl, Arlene.
And with the Road to Adventure. We will see you guys in the next video. Peace.